What's going on, guys? Fighting Game Selectors here. We are back again to talk about a little bit more about Street Fighter 6. We got a little taste of a minor patch. I wouldn't say it's the patch that everyone expected. We expect a little bit more, but we're going to talk about it with Justin Wong. What's good, bro?
What's good, man? How you doing? Yeah, I feel like this patch is kind of like you said, it's a baby patch, but I think they can't give us a big patch because, like, I guess from a casual perspective, they would be like, bro, y'all said Akuma's coming out season 1. Why is it season 2 now and Akuma's still not out?
Yeah.
You know? So I think they have to, like, kind of, like, wait till Akuma comes out and then maybe, like, 1 or 2 months still be like, all right, here's a big patch.
You think they shot themselves in the foot with the timing?
It's just tough because, I mean, development timing is always just weird when it comes to stuff like that. So I get it. I understand why they did it like this, but it's like, you know, they hold us down a little bit. You know, here's some little nerfs and here's some little buffs. Let's call it a day type of thing.
I felt like there was only one character they like targeted, and like seeing how that character got targeted, and you know, a lot of people still think this character is like really good still. I'm curious if like the big patch is kind of gonna do the same thing for like everybody else.
There's a lot of characters they didn't touch at all, and they do deserve some buffs. You know, obviously like Kimberly, for example, even characters that maybe don't need a buff, but they're kind of dry, like Honda, for example. So like there's definitely characters that I think everyone's waiting, bro, give me something new. You know what I mean? So I think nerfs are gonna be obvious for the characters that are already doing well in tournaments or ranked match, as you know, people have seen. So they gave us a little hint of that.
We're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit more about the characters that are like the winners in this patch.
Okay,
let's talk about Ryu, man.
They made a move that was worthless and now it's useful. Hashogeki, before it was punishable on hit, the light punch one. Like if you block it, you could punish it. Now it's safe, so you can kind of go for like parry baits and everything, which is really cheap. There's already like setups where they do it meaty and there are plus frames there, so that's already a huge win. Heavy punch Hashogeki, just freaking amazing. Like it leaves you right in front of them, so you can actually go for a strike throw mix up. And OD Hashogeki, it's 1,000 damage now. It used to be 600, so that's a big chunk, bro. So it's huge chunk. So he already hit hard, but now he hits harder. It gives you a reason to actually use Denjin and Hashogeki, because I feel like those two moves are kind of just like, they were just there before this patch, right? But now it's like, oh, there's use to using these moves now, right? I still wish Denjin was a bit better. Like I should have an option to throw regular fireball or Denjin fireball. Maybe they'll play around with it, because right now the Denjin buff is just, it still only does the same thing. It just buffs either Hadouken or Hashogeki, and you know, I feel like it could do a bit more.
It's a little taste of like progression, right?
Yeah.
Still needs a little bit more of that uniqueness. Let's talk about like Jamie, for example. How do you feel about like Jamie's changes as a whole?
I think it's pretty good. I feel like with Jamie, like a lot of people were struggling to get like level 4 or even just drinks off in general. People just don't know how to kind of sneak it in or when to do it, really, right? Even when you had like Rekka into kick, the Rekka version where you get a drink available, people always just didn't really use that version, or they just were just bad at landing it. Obviously sweep in the drink is really good as well too, but I think a lot of people struggled with like how to get drink off. So like, what's the easiest way to get drinks off? Like, what's the thing that Jamie players do the most, or the new, or just like if you're playing Street Fighter, what's the thing that lands the most? Oh, grab. So they gave grab into drink, and I think that's a sick ass buff. It's a sick ass buff, because now like more people, I would say, because I think at the highest level, people know how to get drinks. Like you know how to get drinks. Automatic knows how to get drinks. Whatever Jamie player out there in the master rank knows how to get drinks. But I think this buff is more for like the plats, the golds, you know, like that are trying to be like this Jamie main, but they struggling out there in the rank match world. But also this obviously helps like everyone else no matter what. It's a great buff. The one buff that I feel like I haven't seen people use too much, which is like, I guess it's still situational. It's the level 1 buff with the drink, and you can keep attacking afterwards. Like you get, it's still your turn. I don't know if it's worth it or not, because it's like the level 2 buff is really nice, where you could go level 4 and whatever drinks you have, you can still like keep that, which is great. So it just becomes so hard to use meter now with with Jamie, because it's like the level 3 is your clutch factor. Then now the level 2 installs are really good to use as well too. But you don't build meter during that, right? Do you build meter during level 2?
So you only build meter during level 2 is if you already have level 4.
Oh, so if you only have 2 drinks and you're level 4, you don't build meter.
Yeah, you don't build meter. No.
Oh, see, like if it.
But you could still build your drive gauge meter up, but that's it.
Yeah, like if I could build meter during that, like Rashid. You know, like Yasser.
I know,
right?
Yeah.
Or like
Ed,
yeah, yeah, right, stuff like that. I feel like if I could build like meter during level 2, then it would make the opportunity to use level 1 more higher.
I agree with that. You know, I think the level 2 buff actually was so good that it made the level 1 change useless, because going to level 2 is so much more oppressive than like using level 1.
Yeah,
because like you're using plus frames. Now you have a command throw option if you wasn't in level 3. Like you have way more like arsenal. So I 100% agree with that. I think the level 2 buff actually was so good that it overshadowed level 1. I would say those characters are like the 2 big winners. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would say those are 2 big winners, and then like the mini winner I guess would be Aki.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna say like to talk about her changes. I've seen a lot of people really happy about the jab change. Do you feel like that jab change actually helped her like substantially, or was you feel like that was just like this should have been here in the game to begin with?
It should have been here in the game to begin with. It's not like a big buff. It's more of like, bro, like why you give me these tiny ass like T-Rex hands, right? Type of thing.
Yeah.
So now it's like you can kind of like confidently hit combos from farther ranges where jabs are supposed to work, which is great. But the biggest buff is actually the medium punch, standing medium punch. Standing medium punch, it's more active for 3 more frames. So that means you could actually check drive rush with standing medium punch. So that's like a huge.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a huge buff. You obviously get more meaties because it's more active. So she gets more different kind of like offensive pressure, which is really great. But I don't know. I that's good for offense, but defense wise, she still sucks. Level 1 still trash. OD's like snake step. Like you can still grab it and count as a punish counter. And it's like, what's the point? But her offense, I mean, no. When you watch Aki players play, they go crazy with the offense. So in terms of offense, it's a huge win, for sure. But I expect her to have like maybe more buffs like when the second patch comes out.
Let's talk about the strong characters that got like big changes.
The top 3.
Mr. Meat 3.
Top 3. JP, man, JP. I mean, he got nerfed pretty hard, but he's still really good because the way his moveset works, the way his normals work, it's like they're great moves, but they were just kind of buggy. Like the way they like talked about crouching heavy punch, they made it sound like, oh, yo, that was a DP.
That was crazy.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, they literally it had DP properties. I'm like, oh, no wonder you could, no matter how you time it, it just wins. No matter where, early, late, mid, it just wins completely. So now it trades a lot. So you actually have to time it properly, which
is nice.
Yeah. So
because
that's
JP players will have that portal right under them, and they're just down back you.
Right. So that was a huge win. And then standing heavy punch, able to whiff punish. You could whiff punish it finally, because people just all the JPs just throw that out in neutral. Like it's like, yeah, I got the best footsies in the world. So now you can actually whiff punish it. The big change is the amnesia. You get hit by amnesia, completely scales. And you don't build meter, which is huge. It's a huge win.
It still builds the most reverse. It still does the most reversal damage in the game.
Yeah, but it's not like 50-60%.
Yeah. But for some reason, people were just like, "Nah, man, this is like unplayable." But it still does the most reversal damage. It still activates if you throw them. So I still think like that character is still intact despite the damage gone.
Yeah, I actually think more JP's players will land amnesia now, because more people will feel confident to like kind of like go in hard, because they're like, yo, I can afford this life. He's not gonna kill me from this, right? So I think the mind games kind of like lessen for that, but because of that, amnesia is gonna hit more often, I think.
I agree with that. I can see that. Now let's talk about DJ.
What about DJ? Oh, just a
So-
sway low.
Sway low, and I think they extended the hurt boxes off the jabs.
So that's a universal change with the jabs.
Oh, was that so? Every character had that.
So pretty much every character that can abuse drive rush jabs, it's just everyone got smoked. Like Ken, Chun-Li, like every good character with drive rush jab, just like it got fixed.
That's really great.
Yeah, but I don't think DJ got affected too hard. I mean, sway low, still problem, still threat. You just gotta take like a kind of like, okay, like a mix at that point, right? But it's not punishable, which is still good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit worse because now in Burnout, it's easier to pressure the opponent because like before when the Burnout was when he was Burnout, he still had that little pushback.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I had to like walk up jab. Now I don't have to walk up and do anything. I just press the button and I'm in. You know.
Yeah.
Now you're in trouble. So
I think they'll hit DJ harder in season 2 if anything, if people complain. Yeah, damage like machine gun punch. I mean, it just does too much damage. I think.
yeah.
So they'll probably tone that down. They might make kind of like one of the sway moves punishable, or they might make his drive rush slower, like a little bit slower or less range. Because if you nerf too hard, like you don't want him to be obsolete. So,
yeah. I'm just saying, man. You know, we're gonna take the damage away. I feel like the utility. You know, give me a vacation, Justin.
But how about you could keep the back heavy kick anti-air, but you just don't get the follow up afterwards? You know what I mean?
I'll be really sad about that.
Why? It's a standing anti-air. You don't even have to work for that anti-air. It's just you're already holding back.
You are attacking me. Moving on. Let's talk about Luke.
I mean, Luke, they didn't do enough. Obviously, they just made Crouch Me and Punch a little bit more whiff punishable, but I mean, it's still plus on block. It's still D button to just get smoked. I would say there's barely any nerfs on Luke.
Yeah, it's crazy because you know, he was literally the king of games, and I guess they was like, this is the problem.
Yeah, he
you know,
he literally went from top 2 to top 1. That's what happened.
Well, I guess that's really. Is there any other character we're missing?
Ken.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. All the Ken players are complaining. They're like, "Yo, we need to switch to Ryu." That's what all the Ken players are saying.
Good luck with that. I look forward to their journey. I know they nerfed Jump Tatsu.
Yeah, which is whatever. I don't think that's like a big nerf personally. Like,
yeah, I thought I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of random. I think, right?
Yeah, and the forward throw they nerfed.
That's a big one because obviously that's like a strong like corner pressure tool that he had with like strike throw, which is like really huge. But I mean, he still gets pressure. He still gets corner carry the whole entire 9 yards. So he's still a really good character. I would say the biggest nerf, besides the throw loop, is that's probably the second biggest nerf, but the biggest one is the universal one with the drive rush jabs.
Drive rush jab, yeah.
Because that's literally
Evo.
That's Evo, right? That's that's the skip neutral tool. That's the button where you just skip neutral all day, every day. So they lost that. So now all the Ken players are complaining, wah, I can't play neutral. I actually have to play more slower and everything. But is that really a problem? Like, he's still a really strong character for sure. Like, I don't think he's top 5 though anymore because they didn't touch any other characters, you know, like too much, like kind of like Chun-Li, Dee Jay, Guile, Rashid. So I can see him moving down. Like, the whole thing about which character is better, Luke and Ken, yes, Phenom was right. He is not top 5. So Luke is the superior one. Poster boy is up there, but I think Ken is like still pretty darn good though.
He's not bad enough to complain about him or at all. He's really good.
Yeah,
you know. Obviously, it's just some characters that just are winning more right now.
Yeah,
I was very interested of like them not touching Guile.
The problem with that is that there's not enough Guile complaints.
Yeah, I feel like slowly but surely, I feel like that season is coming where people gonna start complaining about him.
I mean, he
is perfect. He's a perfect character.
He's great. He's so good. And yeah, I mean, it's really hard to balance Guile. It's either you make Guile good or bad. Like, I feel like it's really hard to make a mid tier. Like, he's never been like really like mid tier. Like, I don't know. It's just always like bad or good. And I think like right now, like, there's not enough Guile players to kind of like warrant that because JP kind of took that spot for the most part. So yeah, I guess we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, and I have one more question to ask, and like this is something that I'm interested in how they're going to start implementing throws in this game. So if you look at like Ed's like throw in mid range, do you feel like that's like a taste of like what season 2 is going to look like for throws?
I hope so. I mean, Ed still has a busted throw loop in the corner, but mid screen. I mean, yeah, I feel like it's gonna be like I think they'll just take the Street Fighter 5 route, where it's just like, oh, if you take the grab mid screen, you go back to neutral, right? So I think that's gonna be a thing. But you obviously could spend your resources to kind of like close the gap, like, you know, drive rush and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I wanted in the first place. Is like, if, even in the corner, like throws. You throw in the corner, you don't get a throw loop, but you can drive rush to do a throw loop. You know, like you should spend a resource to do something kind of brainless, I would say.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so we'll see. I hope in order for you to do something that you can like kind of like oppress your will, you should spend a little bit of resources.
I think Zangief got to change.
Oh yeah, Zangief. I mean,
Zangief.
Yeah, Zangief got cute combos. Cute combos.
Yeah, he cute now. He got Lariat, EX Lariat to level 3.
Yeah, cute combos, buff level 1. I think that will be useful in matches, actually. It's actually pretty useful in matches because you'll get like short jab and you're like, how do I close this out, right? So now you can do short jab, OD Lariat into level 3. Level 1 is really important. Not because it's like it's better anti-air, but it helps him in the 10-0 matchup, Lily versus Zangief. Lily versus Zangief, I kid you not, is like 10-0 matchup, bro. Before this patch, because he could not stop just OD Spire, like OD Wind Spire, could not stop it. Now level 1 beats it. So if you see it coming, you can level 1 it. So that's really good. That's like a huge win right there, I think.
So from 10-0 to 8-2.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit winnable now.
Thank you so much for coming here and talking to me about this, man. This is great.
Of course, no problem.
And where can they find you?
They can find me on all platforms. Just Jwong 3Gs. YouTube, just type in Justin Wong. Easy peasy.
Thank you guys so much for watching, man. Please let me know in the comment section below. How do you guys feel? See you guys in the next episode.